Is the Hall of Fame really on any level nowadays? Baseball, basketball, football, okay? I'm not smart enough to get into the hockey one, okay? But I follow the other three enough that I can stand on my own and I can make arguments with anybody, and I know the facts as much as anybody out there about all of this. But let's be honest now, okay? Because that's what we like doing on this show. Is the Hall of Fame really the Hall of the Elite? Is it really? Tell me. I need to know this, right? I want to know, is it the Hall of the Elite? Because if it's the Hall of the Elite, then you don't put Joe Namath in, you only put Joe Montana. You understand that? You don't put Kurt Warner in, you put Terry Bradshaw. Am I being clear here? You don't put Dan Hampton in, you put Reggie White. I hit you right there, didn't I? I hit you right in the gut, didn't I? Did I hit you right in the gut?
Unacceptable.
All right. He's a Bears fan. I knew, but I got, hey, man, I've got the ammo. But again, it's not to slam Dan Hampton, right? But hey, you don't put Gale Sayers in, you put Walter Payton in. You know what I'm saying? So if we're going to get there, then let's just do that then. Then let's make the Hall of Fame the Hall of the Elite. And then we only can put Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. We can't put Mitch Richmond. Comprende, compadre? And I don't want to diss Mitch Richmond. I don't want to diss Gale Sayers or Dan Hampton. I apologize. I don't want to diss any of those guys. Joe Namath is in, they say, for one game. And I also say he's in because the merger of the AFL, NFL was such a critical moment in the history of the game that man forced that merger. Because when the Jets and Sonny Werblin said, we're going after him, we're going to give you $400,000 and a brand new Lincoln with the what are those called? Those dead man doors? What are those things called again? The beautiful suicide doors. That's it. That badass Lincoln. To this day, it's still a badass car. To this day, most men would want that car because it's a badass vehicle. Okay.
Super Bowl III. I remember Dawson and Nick Bonicani doing Inside the NFL back in the day, HBO, and talking about what is your proudest moment. And Len Dawson actually, think about this, he won Super Bowl IV.
Yeah.
The next one.
Right.
His proudest moment was sitting in the Orange Bowl and watching
in the press
Namath,
box. In the press box.
AFL, beat the NFL.
Yeah.
It solidified and gave validity to their whole league. And for him to say that his proudest moment is watching Namath win the Super Bowl, and he wins the next one, Super Bowl IV.
Well,
it gives you a perspective of how big that Super Bowl III was.
No doubt. Len Dawson, that moment, because they were talking up in the press box down the AFL and then the NFL. By the end of that game, Len Dawson got up in the press box, turned around and said, how does the AFL look now, fellas? And so they were all kind of quiet. So that was kind of part of his final shot at those people that were taking shots at the AFL. But my point is that we have watered down the halls of fame on all of them. We don't put in the elite of the players only. We put the other players that are great but did not accomplish nearly as much. Because remember, think about this. If we did only the elite of the elite, then there'll only be a few players in every. Because how many Magic Johnsons and Larry Birds are there? So it's Michael, Larry, Kareem. Is that what we're going to do? We're just going to put those top guys. So James Worthy's not worthy of being there because he's not Magic Johnson? Come on, dude. You know what I'm saying? So we have gotten to a point where I think our definitions of the Hall of Fame vary, but what doesn't is the definition of it overall. We have made it pretty clear that if you have established yourself as a pretty damn good player that's had some success in this league for a certain stretch, or you have played in big moments and you have performed in those big moments, we put you in. Because Kurt Warner's career, this is a guy who's bagging groceries, playing in an arena league, then goes, with the Rams, and it's one of the greatest teams we've ever seen offensively ever. He was deadly accurate. And then he falls off a cliff, and his career goes completely in the dumper again, and then gets resurrected again in Arizona, where he ends up in a Super Bowl. They don't win it, but he gets a lot of credit because it's Arizona, for Christ's sake. They got to a Super Bowl. That's amazing. You know what I mean?
If they call the penalties that were supposed to be called on that play
Maybe.
right before the half that goes back 98
Right.
yards, there's like 2 holds and 2 clips right there by where the guy is running with the ball. That should have been called, no touchdown. That's the difference of the game.
Maybe. You never know, but there's a whole half to play. So you never know.
Now,
You can't play the what if
at least
game.
a 10-point swing. A field
Right.
goal, and Pittsburgh got 7.
Yeah.
At least 10.
Yeah. But again, these are things that we have to understand, that we have not made the Hall of Fame anymore the Hall of the Elite. And if we want to do that, then let's do that. But we're not. We're way past that already. And we're putting players in that are really, really good, but they're not the elite ones. Let's just be honest. That's what we're doing. And Eli has earned every right to be there. Okay? I talked about it on the Thursday show, and I enlightened a lot of you with John Elway's stats, because as great as he is, people forget that his first half, his stats were pedestrian. It doesn't mean he wasn't a great player. It doesn't mean that his team didn't suck around him, and then, whether it's Sewell or Sammy Winder or whoever he was playing with, they were just guys, and he had to elevate those just guys. He had the 3 amigos, which were pretty good. But, we're talking about a guy that did not accomplish a lot early on. And yet he got to Super Bowls where he got killed. And then, obviously, he got his revenge. So we've reached a point now where we have to understand that the Hall of Fame is a place where we celebrate greatness, but not to the point of being elite. We put in the elite, of course, and we celebrate them, but it's the definition is a little bit more wider than it should be. And by the way, this is why we also induct coaches, and we induct owners, and we induct people that affected the sport in a major way in at different levels, because it's about the people that were a part of the game and the great moments of the game. And so let me ask you something. In those 2 giant Super Bowls, if you take Eli Manning out, what do you have?